Hey Ratbags, it's Jade today, giving you a lowdown on what's actually broken in Grounded 2 right now, and when is it actually going to get fixed. The devs have just done their Casually Grounded stream. I didn't hear any actual release date for their hotfix, but I'm guessing there will be one this week. So this is kind of what to expect with that. It should fix a whole multitude of issues, but some things actually won't be fixed for a while. It's not really an exaggeration to say this is probably one of the most bug-ridden PTBs I've seen Grounded ever have, given covering the first game as well. And this is why it's so good that Obsidian and Eidos are doing these PTBs, because although it's early access, having this as a first line of defense against bugs and issues hopefully means that everyone else gets to enjoy a slightly less bug-free version of the game. Also some info about Playgrounds mode and their PTB, and a few things from the data files just to round off a video talking about bugs. Let's start rattling them off, so at least you guys will know, yep, okay, this is cool. They know about this, or so many other people are having the same problem. Actually, first, let me go through what they've said about known issues themselves. So passive mutations will be stuck locked if bringing any over from the previous update. So yep, if you don't know they've changed the mutations, anything that you get kills with, like spears, daggers, hammers, whatever, normally once you get to a certain amount of kills, it gives you another level and does more damage with that ability. Well, they've now been given to you automatically. So you don't actually have to choose one of your slots. Instead, you'll have these granted to you. That's why they're called passive. But some players are reporting that they couldn't actually unlock these or change any of the mutations, or they were missing an actual slot. If they had 4 slots available, they was only able to use 3 of them. People are still locked to one resource at a time. This was due to it confusing and crashing the game previously, and they added that fix in a little while, so it looks like it's still going to be here a bit longer. Users can't sleep due to the Orc bug raids notification. Yes, if you tried sleeping, it will tell you that you can't sleep, there's danger nearby or enemies nearby. Some of you have had no problem, raids have been happening, but for me also there were no raids happening, which meant I was really dry on Raw Science. Raw Science is not spawned correctly in the garden using a save from 0.2.25. Yes, it isn't meant to be there on purpose, but yeah, there should be Raw Science scattered around the gardens. Large pallets can't be used or interacted with. Sour seeds can fall through the floor, blocking progression. They're currently looking at ways to make this respawn. Sour staff projectiles don't work as intended. I'm so pleased about this, and I wish I'd read this before I did my guide on the staves, because yeah, I was basically crapping on it for being too short range. So hopefully that's going to be fixed. Various texture, pop and performance issues are being evaluated. FYI, all weave regs have been moved, not removed. So if you don't know, these are now on the hedge in the north of the map, just past the campfire. A big issue has been starting the boss fight, Mysterious Stranger fight. Now they've said it affects mostly anyone in multiplayer. Some of you guys were able to take on the Stranger almost within an hour of the update going live. And I was like, how? What? Like, it's taken me 3 days to get the resources needed, Raw Science and complete stuff. Turns out some of you were able to skip and just literally make this boss fight start, but that might have actually blocked your progress for now and for future. So it says here, if you win the fight, quest progression may break, permanently affecting that save. If you lose the fight, the encounter will not be available again immediately, but progression is not broken. Losing the fight is currently the better outcome. If this happens, please continue progressing through the Garden Quest storyline, which will allow you to face the Mysterious Stranger again as intended. If you've already won the fight, we recommend reloading a previous save for now, as continuing on that save will result in flawed progress long term. So obviously this will be fixed by the time it goes live for everyone on the 27th. And for players that had this issue, be lucky. It does seem to stem from progress. It hasn't been very clear about what you should do in order, and some of the quests weren't popping up for people. But some of you guys might have found the sour seed early and planted it. Some of you guys have gone and turned on the power. What you're meant to do is, like I said, talk to Sloan at the archives, then go ahead and find the source of the water leaks, patch them up, turn on the valves, then find the seed, plant the seed, turn on the demister system, and then go ahead and do the power. Now you can have all them steps completed before you plant the seed, but it does seem like people were either picking up the seed sometimes and putting it down, but that was also affecting some of the progression. Either way, if it's like that for you now, you can't see the button to summon the boss fight and you have never fought the boss, make sure you try and do all of them steps. If you've done all them steps and you still can't see the boss fight, then yeah, you may have to reload your save. I'm going to mention this again. There was a hotfix for this last week where side tables were being deleted, so you're losing all your resources. reiterate, the devs have said if that's happened to you, they can't give you your stuff back. They're working now, they should be okay, but you won't get your gear back. So you're best off reloading and yeah, hopefully grinding again. Otherwise, you're going to have to just grind for resources instead. Also, a couple other things that we learned from the Casually Grounded stream. You're seeing things like not being able to craft certain arrows, like the splinter arrows. It might list something like dust mite fuzz to craft them. The devs are changing that recipe to woolly aphid fuzz. So again, that should be in there by the 27th. Some things I'm surprised won't be happening that soon. Tiny lint and tiny pine cones. Really hard to see the lint sometimes and the way it just falls everywhere. That's going to be that way until February. They delayed Playgrounds update, so that won't be happening until February now. And during the stream, one of the devs did state that that would still be the case with the tiny resources until that update. Obviously, it's not a huge priority. At least you can get them, even if they're tiny. But that's something else to bear in mind. Okay, so here's my full list that I've seen from you guys, and a big shout out to Left Side as well that gave a whole bunch too. So cactus flowers, yes, some of them are spawning for some aren't. It does look like part of the area where you do get some of the cactus flowers, it does become spicy once you turn the power on in the greenhouse. So my theory is that some of these cactus flowers are not meant to be able to be gotten until that happens. And so there might be some issues with it not spawning correctly. You need them to make certain smoothies. So that's something to bear in mind, hope that gets fixed. Lack of raw science will be fixed. The mixer completion, people are still having raids after doing it. Although it does seem like if you also go and do the boss fight, that might stop the raids as well. More about progression and maybe some changes, but there is some tang lakes that you can swim in. And one of them is pretty obvious that you're meant to pretty much take some punishment to swim through and get a pretty powerful trinket. However, there's more than just that. There's another big lake. I can't really see how you would really utilise it, as it is a shortcut to the southern rose gardens. So my theory is again that something's meant to happen and we purify that water, or drain it. Mutations busted, we've covered that already. The resource analyzer not working correctly, using controller on PC. That's something else I've noticed. I use a controller on PC and it would never scan to even the one item until sometimes I use the actual keyboard. Hand scanner not appearing, yep, so I told you guys all about that. There's a pretty severe place or hole in the map at the top of the bricks near where you've got to repair some of the water taps. That will send you under the map and you'll be dead, so look out for that. You guys have been telling me that certain things aren't regrowing, like burr. Obviously the tiny lint and pine pieces, that will happen in February. And yes, there is no dust mites, they're not meant to be in the game. And salt, there's no salt in the game. Again, I don't think there's meant to be just yet. And for some reason, some of you guys can't craft sour arrows, or you was hoping to craft the explosive arrows, given that we've now got gun pops again, or gunpowder I should say. But I swear they also use splinter arrows, so that kind of makes sense. If they change the recipe for splinter arrows, then maybe you'll be able to craft the next ones. And the left side's added this, corn dog bites are unobtainable. Well, not strictly true. There are 10 that you can find inside a chest, but he's right, the brand new kind of hot dog. When you harvest it, it just gives you hot dog bites. The mallet in the croquet court, which you can actually blow up and go and investigate if you want to see a mystery. Once you've done it, it carries on standing up, even though you've gone and blown it up, which is pretty vital as it will get you a little shortcut up to the bench. Although there's not much on the bench, it's still something that obviously needs to be fixed. And not just the raids happening, you can't sleep till midnight because of non-existent orc raids threat. That's happened to me a bunch of times. Also, some players are not able to block. Now, I've been joking around and saying get good scrubs. Earwigs are a pain in the arse. I managed to block them a few times, but it does look like it might be something to do with either blocking without shield, that you just simply can't block them at all. And it only seems to be affecting some players. Can't rebind any hot pouch slots anymore, at least on PC. Ogre creature cards and the previews are using models and icons of the regular creatures. Potato eye resource is not used anything right now. You can grow it in the ponic patch and it effectively turns into potatoes. Return creatures from Ground 1 have their old model in the stuffed buildables. New milk models from the new area are not appearing on the map when collected. Stem pallets, we know they don't work at the moment. Weapons will enter hucking mode even with a tap button if you start charging attack immediately after jumping off a buggy or after a block. New sights and wonders have pixelated images in the data tab and don't have any general area names to them. I'm getting reports that at least one of them is missing. New ranger outposts are not counted towards sights and wonders. The sales staff has reduced range, and we knew about that one already. So I think between the pair of us there, that is what you hopefully should see fixed by the time the update rolls out for everyone on the 27th. If it doesn't, then at least you know about it, and you'll know that the devs know about it, and hopefully it'll get fixed soon. It doesn't look like there's going to be any delays to the update. Despite a number of problems and issues, it looks like they're really on course, and devs have actually said they're pretty confident in the update. So they know about a lot of this stuff, they're on it, so fingers crossed it'll all be fixed by the time everyone else gets to play it. And just to give you guys a bit of a tease, Playgrounds does look like it is getting a lot more stuff. Now, the reason they delayed it was they said it just wasn't quite ready. Originally before Christmas, they did say that Playgrounds would arrive, and it pretty much the same version that we saw in Grounded 1, just with a lot of new buildables, of course, from Grounded 2. So I was a bit disappointed by that, they wouldn't have any new features. But it does look like they are working on stuff. Whether or not it's going to make it for the February update, I'm not too sure. But it does look like you will be able to rotate more building pieces in different ways. Building customization, moving bases, ability to skip cutscenes, and perhaps maybe the most exciting of all, there's going to be some sort of Playgrounds racing mode. A simple system where you'll be able to have a start button, waypoint button, and the race end button. Again, not too sure if that's going to be there for the actual full update in February. They are going to be adding more to Playgrounds as they progress. That's something to look forward to. There's a bunch more of this kind of stuff, so I'm actually going to cover this in another video. So there we go, Ratbags. Hopefully that's helped you. As always, I'll be here to deliver the news. As soon as an update goes live this week, which I am presuming there will be a hot fix. If not, if they're really saving it just for the 27th, that would be kind of mad. But I'll have the full patch notes breakdown for you, as well as lots of more tip videos incoming. So until next time, Ratbags, laters.